10 days ago, I was in Poland. I was speaking at a business conference just outside of Warsaw. It was my first time ever to be on a business trip in Poland, and I had a room full of business people, business owners, and I talked about business development, impact investing, and a few other things. And after I had spoken, one of the business guys comes up to me, and we had this chat in the lobby outside this conference hall. We had this chat about his company. He shared a little bit about the difficulties that he was going through, and some of the struggles that he has at the moment, because I was highlighting, some of the things we can do as business owners in order to set up our companies better. And then just on a side comment, he said, "Oh, and I did not understand what you said when you said we're not owners, but we're stewards of our company." So as part of my presentation, and it wasn't a Christian conference, I had just slipped in that I believe that everything, even the companies that I own and then that I have where I'm the majority shareholder, these companies are not mine, even though I'm the majority shareholder. And in the register, if you look at it, you'll find my name. I even put in there that I don't believe it's mine, but I'm just a steward of what I've been given. And so he looked at me and said, "I've never heard this concept. What is this concept of stewardship? What do you mean? I'm a business owner. I own 100% of the shares of my company." And I looked at him and I said, "And that's exactly why you're not sleeping well at night." See, if you understand this whole principle of stewardship, that everything you've got is a gift from God, and it is actually His. It doesn't even belong to you. You're just the administrator. You're just the steward. Then I believe you will have a lot less sleepless nights. Because if you have some money problems, you can actually say, "God, you're running out of money down here." And some of you have, some big money problems, and I'm just encouraging you to talk to God about His problems. Here's a Christian prayer that I would like to teach you this morning. God, how would you like me to use your money? This is a lovely prayer. And some of you will actually be surprised how generous God is even with the money that He's given you. He actually wants you to enjoy some of the money that He's given you for your own enjoyment, or to feed your family, to provide for your kids, and perhaps support your parents. But actually, as I said, everything is spiritual. Even the investments we do. At the conference where I just spoke at, I very specifically talked about impact investing, that even the money where we go and invest it in order to earn some interest, even that is a spiritual decision. And we need to think through which kind of companies do we invest in? Where do we put our finances? God, how would you like me to use your money? Here's what I've observed. Most of us, we've just adopted our philosophy and perhaps our theology about money from our parents. Because money and the principles of money and stewardship of money is not being taught in schools, at least in my school, I never had a course on money management in my school, and I've had a lot of years in school. We just take over whatever our parents taught us about money, how we saw them use it or not use it. I actually think that it's one of the big problems in our educational system, that there's no teaching around that. I always say, if they had just told me that mathematics would be linked to money, I would have been a better student in mathematics. And perhaps some of the examples would actually help me a little bit more to kind of learn something. I think that's one reason why we as Christians need to educate ourselves about the administration of money, the investing of money, and what we do with money, because it is a spiritual matter. One well-known quote that my uncle from South Africa, he gave me a book when I was very young. It was a money management book, and he put this quote in front of the book: "Money is a bad master, but a good servant." Money is a bad master. We know lots of people who basically bow down before the God of money. Let's just be honest. Our whole world economics in many ways is we bow down before whoever is the richest, whoever has the most, whoever is the most affluent. Money is a bad master, but it is a great servant. You can use money to feed those who need food. You can sponsor wells in Africa for people to have clean drinking water. You can buy clothes for people who don't have enough clothing. And you can put it towards something as beautiful as a church extension here for us to make more room and space for people to come and be with us. Number 4, trust in God versus trust in money. There is this famous teaching of Jesus in the New Testament in the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 6, where it says, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moths and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moths and vermin do not destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." I believe that. I honestly believe that. You can't serve both. So the question is, if you surrender your life to God, if you say, I want to be a follower of Jesus, then you also need to learn on what does that mean to follow Jesus also as someone who's got something in your pocket. Where do you put your trust? Some of you are very worried about money. Perhaps even this morning you're showing up here and you've had a sleepless night or you've had some sleepless weeks over money. And I would say that the big encouragement in the New Testament is not to put our trust in money, but really put our trust in God. There's this wonderful story when Andrea and I started off our marriage. We did not start with a lot of money. We stayed at a small apartment downtown Frankfurt. And at the beginning, we were really always trying to find enough to get through the month and to pay for the rent and to pay for the food. And, I was studying, Andrea was working, so we only had one income. And it wasn't, this big, huge income yet. So we had some worries also about money. And it was very interesting. I still remember the conversation that Andrea and I had where she kind of, much later, kind of told me that she had been worried about money. And her instinct was, we were part of a church in Frankfurt back then. Her instinct was, if I'm worried about money, perhaps what I should do, I should give some money away. Which is actually counterintuitive. Doesn't really make any sense unless you believe in the economics of God. We're part of a church, and Andrea actually, and almost shamefully, she told me that I donated some money to our church, and it actually took away my worry about money. I've come to see that even giving is a way to get rid of some of the worries and the anxiety around money. We just give it away. That's what I tell people. If you have sleepless nights over money, well, you should give. Which is absolutely counterintuitive. Number 5,